pumped to have you guys here. Thank you guys. For those of you who are new to me, my name is Lizy Hoeffer. I have been a residential loan officer in Phoenix since 2008. Gosh, a long time now. And I built my business a lot on good customer service, word of mouth marketing. Just to give you guys a little bit of context, my team closed about 1,300 deals last year. Average loan officer closes 2 loans a month. Right, so what I will teach you, right, in today's class can have exponential impact to your business in terms of referrals, free marketing. It's the kind of marketing that people go, like when they're at a Christmas party, they talk about you with, okay? So I'm really excited to share that with you guys. If there was something specific that you came to learn here today, go ahead and let me know. I'm gonna write it down here, and if we don't cover it, I'll get it at the end. So anyone have anything specific that you came here for today? Okay.
You build consistency. And whatever program you decide to do.
Okay. Anything else? Anything about? Okay. Well, we might end up with additional questions. Just go ahead and let me know. So what the heck is a wild process and why do we need one? Okay. Well, I will tell you that right now we're going into a shifting market. So we've been super boom, boom, boom. Consumer sentiment is at an all-time low as it relates to, is it a good time to buy a house? Okay, and because people feel defeated, beat up, right, in a shifting market, it makes it extra hard to sell to them, okay? So what does a shifting market mean? Well, it means that we are now seeing increased inventory week over week. We're seeing about 1,000 new properties enter our MLS. Right, and so we're slowly growing. Now we're way under what we need to be, but it is growing. So just to give this some reference, in 2005, right, during the second quarter is when we started seeing a shift. 2007 is when they started reporting the crash, okay? But there was all that time, right, before we actually really started talking about, hey guys, it's switched. So what we do right now, guys, is we plant the seeds for the fruit and the vegetables that we will eat for a year to 2 years from now. And so it stinks right now because you have to do 2 things. You have to sell and market to the customers in the marketplace that is, and then you have to incubate and market to the clients that will be. Okay, so that is what a shifting market is. Just to give you guys some reference points, lots of people are going to compare this to the Great Recession, right? Because the last recession they knew, housing collapsed, okay? But if you reference the last 5 recessions, the only one that had an impact to housing, right, where we saw like a decline in prices, was the Great Recession, which was caused by real estate, okay? This recession is not caused by real estate, it's caused by a pandemic, it's caused now, you know, by a war, it's being caused, right, by lots of different supply chain issues, nothing to do with real estate, okay? Now, in the last 5 recessions, 4 of which real estate actually increased, right, in value. And that's actually what I expect to see, just not at the rapid levels that we talk about. So another thing that you guys will have to combat is, just in general, the market is saying that home prices are falling, right? That is a headline. So home prices, so price is different than value, okay? So price is what people are willing to pay for something, right? That's the market price. So you list your home for $300,000, somebody pays $360,000, okay? That's real market price in a market like today, okay? Now, a normal seller's market is actually 97% of list price. Okay, 97%, so under listing price. So when you see that home prices are falling, right, we're really talking about market price, we're not talking about value. Okay, now, I expect to see prices decline as inventory increases. The more supply that you have, the more options buyers have, the less competitive the marketplace is. That is to be expected. Every economist for the last 3 years has said that this is what was happening, this is what we should expect. It is outrageous to think that we would have double-digit increases. Okay, does everyone agree? Yes. If we continue to have double-digit increases, eventually no one will afford anything. Okay, so this is normal. Now, if you're looking for a market to compare this one to, it's actually from 1979, right? That's the real estate market to compare to. We had rapid inflation, rapid increase in interest rates. We had an oil embargo, right? We had the Iran-Iraq war, right? Very similar situations to what we're facing now. And they saw an 11% decline in home sale prices, right? over 3 years. That is it. And during that time, home values still appreciated 3 to 5%. Okay? So it's nominal when you can, you talk about inflation. Inflation probably erodes all of that away, but it still means that it's keeping up. Okay? And so a good gifting program, guys, a good WOW program, one, it informs your clients, right? It keeps them educated, and it shows that you are a true expert that cares. Okay? I'm going to repeat myself. You are a true expert that cares. So a lot of people in your industry, literally, they're probably the worst marketers I've ever seen. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, they go, open house, home just listed, this is what's going on, or they post the Cromford Report stats that no one can understand unless you're a realtor, and even most realtors don't understand them. Okay, so my point is, like, if you are going to be an expert that cares, what does that look like if you are creating a WOW program? Okay, so for examples, things that I do for my clients and my real estate agents is, one, I am the expert on things that they need to know, right? So I just taught you a lot about what's happening in the market. Did you feel like that was valuable?
Yes.
Okay, did you get at least one nugget that you can use in your real estate sales? Okay, right, so that's number one, so you have to lead with value. Two, you have to have a consistent format for how you release your value. Okay, so for me, it's been a newsletter, just a simple email that I type. It's a weekly video, and it's a live, typically on Wednesdays, where I go and answer questions, right? So I give my time and value, my information, for free. Okay, that is how I show up as an expert. That is how I love on my clients. So it starts, number one, with value. Okay, the second thing that it has to proceed with, again, is consistency. So how you put that out. Again, everything for me starts with that one email newsletter, truthfully, and I've built upon it, and so it's been improved upon time. So one thing that I will recommend if you want to create consistency, but then you want to up the game, is a quarterly review on all of your processes. Okay? So every quarter I look at what we're currently doing, and then I say, what can we improve upon at least 20 to 30%? Okay, that will have maximum value to our clients, right? And the caveat to this, guys, it needs to be shareable. So a lot of the reason that I put this out in email and video is because I know that if I provide you with value, you will share it with your clients, you will share it with other realtors, you'll share it on social media, you'll give me a plug. Does that make sense? So value, consistency, shareable. You should write that down because it's not in our packet. Okay. Now, once you come up with that format, I am going to ask you to go through all of your processes. Okay. So this is just I just gave you a brief example of how I do this with real estate agents, but you can add a WOW and value process to every part of your transaction. So imagine if you got a lead in, okay? You get a lead in, and the first thing, what happens? You communicate with them, right? Because everyone calls their leads. Okay. Do you do anything with your referral source? What do you do?
I just send her a gift card.
You send them a gift card. What do you do immediately afterwards?
Oh, you call them and tell them
Thank
they
them.
want a referral?
Okay. So write down the process. I call them and thank them. Okay. I send them a gift card. Okay. Then what else happens?
With the lead?
With the lead, yeah. What happens?
We close them. No, I'm just kidding.
What
You
happens?
qualify them.
You get them qualified. Then what happens?
And you look for a phone, you buy a phone.
Okay, so what I'm saying is you guys need to write all of these down and figure out where are maximum impact points that provide value, again, that you can be super consistent on and that will be shareable. So what happens if you get a lead, okay, and then I, as the person who sent you the lead, opened up a box with, it's like a send-out cake, and a bunch of butterflies flew out. Would I post that?
Yes.
Probably, because that would be really impactful. It's super fun. It says that you're a really thoughtful person. You're grateful for receiving a referral, right? And what you sent out was super cool, and people want to know about it, right? It's something that people will watch. Okay. And then what would happen if once the person was pre-approved, you sent them a thank you note again, saying, "Gosh, thank you so much for introducing me to Karen. She's so wonderful. I'm super excited. She's just getting under contract on a home. I just wanted to say thank you again." Okay. And what happened a month later if you invited them to a happy hour with all your other referral partners where they could all connect and mingle and talk about how great you are, right? Because you're their common denominator, right? And what if that person received your monthly emails or your newsletters, right? And if on their birthday you sent them cupcakes, right? And if you paid attention to their life events, right? Like, does that relationship just feel like someone, like that feels like a real solid friendship, okay? There are processes that we all have that we take for granted. Like, when I get a lead, let me tell you what happens. I get a lead, I instantaneously thank the referral partner. I also send out a lead or email that tells the client that they just referred to me how amazing that person is, right? And how lucky they are to be connected with them, and how I'm gonna do such a great job for them the way that, you know, this agent is gonna work for them, right? And then, like, we send in a thank you note, then we call them, we survey them after every phone call to make sure that they're happy with our services. Right? They get a weekly newsletter, an invite to our weekly live, they get a video from me once a month, they also get added to our birthday calendar. I mean, we are trying to love and provide them with value all of the frickin' time, okay? I can tell you that the average loan officer I know calls your leads once or twice, okay, and they have no plans for this, okay? I can tell you that most real estate agents have no plans for this. Like, at best, right, like Debbie is, I think, one of the best people. She's sending a gift card. Right? But could that be improved? Right? Could that be improved? So I would recommend looking at your lead processes. I would look about your in contract. So like in contract, you guys can do lots of fun things. The house of praise, right? Lots of confetti. Put your moving with your face on it, like moving tape with your face on it, right? Like make it fun.
That's fun.
Yes, it is fun.
Wait, we create moving tape but put
Your face on it.
Yes! I would use that everywhere. But I'm going to put somebody else's face on it.
Yeah, it's just funny. You
Your face on it.
can put my face on it, right? But the thing is, it's like funny. Like things that are funny and outrageous. Like one time I said to people, you know, you can mail a potato.
Yes, I heard that this morning.
Yes. And I said, spuds up. Right? People thought it was funny. You know how many people posted my potatoes? A lot of them. I one time sent A1 sauces to people. I was like, you're on my A team. Did I get a whole bunch of people posting my weird A1 sauces? Yes, because it's weird and funky. You know? So like it can be cheesy, it doesn't have to be super expensive, but it can be fun, and if it's funny, or it's really nice, you will get a lot of kudos. So again, what are we doing? Value, consistency,
shareable.
Nailed it. Okay. So there are some of you in this room who probably are so busy and you can't imagine adding all of this extra stuff to your wheelhouse, okay? This is a job description for my WOW coordinator. So I have two of them. I have Jen and I have Kristen. Say hello. Hello. Okay, they also help me facilitate some of my marketing stuff, right? But this is a good job description and it talks about everything that they do, okay? So if that is something that you are looking for, or it is a place that you want to get to in your business, take this and run with it, okay? Now, next thing I want you guys to do is I'm giving you just a basic WOW program for your current clients, right? Because everyone always wants to know, where do I start? Okay? So you always start with people who have given you the opportunity, right, to do business. Okay, so it starts with our past clients and our current referral partners. Okay? So if you do not have current referral partners, your number one step is to organize a database. Period. If you cannot track where your past clients are, do it. If you're new to the business, I would look for 300 people that know and like you, that have influence, right, that would refer you business. Okay? And then, here's what it looks like for us. Okay? So, we always send out our annual settlement statements because people need them for their taxes. It's an easy touch, right? And we do market videos February, April, June, August, and October, right? So I always do those market videos. Monthly anniversary calls, right? Because we want to touch base with them. Like, we like to celebrate when people have a ton of equity in their home, right? Again, it's that milestone, like, oh my God, congratulations, you have $100,000 in equity. That's so cool, right? It also gives us an opportunity to ask them what they plan on doing with the money. Okay, it's another way to get leads. Monthly birthday calls, just sold homes report, so we send out HomeBot. Every Tuesday of the month, we send out an evidence of success, so how we helped somebody with their loan, or we offer them like investment or money advice. I send out 3 times a year, I send out a letter of the heart, right, which is just a personal letter for me on what's going on with my life. We do holiday Popeyes for Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. Okay, and these are just small gifts, like I said, just to show people that we appreciate them. Okay, and then if you are an active referral partner or past client within the last 12 months, you'll get birthday cupcakes from me. Okay. Now, some things that we have stopped doing due to COVID is we used to do a monthly happy hour for our clients that just closed that last month, and we used to do a VIP happy hour for all of our referral partners that sent us deals for the previous month. You know, I'm hoping that, you know, next year we can start rolling that out again. But it is something that we do. It's fun. We also send scratcher tickets once a year to all of our top referral partners, and then we invite them to a dinner that I host where we donate a lot of money to charity, because it's just a fun way for us to all get together and just to really like see what all we could accomplish together. So it's super fun. Okay, this is an easy thing for you guys to put into action, and this is how we remain consistent. I calendarize this, so like Kirsten will tell you, like this past week I was like, we are calendarizing everything, even to the point where we're like, okay, this invitation has to go out on this date. This email has to go out on this date, because it wasn't just enough to have this on the calendar. Now you need the dates for when things have to get done. Okay, so that is how you remain consistent. We also use things like Mailchimp and Salesforce to help us be consistent. I send out everything through Mailchimp. I just embed the video in the HTML. You could use BombBomb. You can send out the videos through HomeBot, whatever you choose. Don't overcomplicate it. Just do it. Okay, you'll improve over time every quarter. This is an example of a letter of the heart that I sent out. So I want to explain like what this sounds like and what this is. But essentially, you have like just a really authentic intro. So this was right after COVID. So after COVID, guys, I felt like it was so clunky. We had to go from in-person services to online services to over the phone. I didn't have the right phone systems. Like everyone was using their cell phones. It was hard to track things, and clients were really frustrated. Like, and not the kind of service that I like to give. But we did the best that we could with how chaotic the times were, and then the amount of volume that we did. So I am a really transparent person. I sent out kind of an apology letter. I was like, look, I probably owe you a pizza. Your mortgage was a little bit more stressful than it should have been. Here's what happened as an entrepreneur. This is all the things that I had to face and overcome, right? And I just, you know, I'm so happy that you found your home. I'm so happy that you used us. I'm so grateful for you. And because COVID is really hitting restaurants so hard, you know, I bought everyone a pizza from Grimaldi's, and I just sent it out, right? Because Grimaldi's is an Arizona staple, it's a Phoenix staple, we love them, and they were really hurting. Okay, so I could hit 2 birds with 1 stone. This was awesome. Like, this is well received every single year. I mean, I told them everything. Like, I got married, my dad died, my child born. I talked to them about one of my oldest daughter was having, she's very emotional, so she had a very big tantrum, and she broke her sunglasses, and one of her lenses was missing, and we were like all paying attention to her, and we're, oh my god, everything's gonna be okay. And my younger daughter grabbed the sunglasses and started going, arg, shiver me timbers. And she just had so much fun with the broken pair of sunglasses. And it was one of those things that made me realize that like the difference between a crisis and an adventure is your attitude, and that became our slogan. We made t-shirts out of it. I wrote the letter of the heart and gave t-shirts to everyone. Right? So like that's what it could be, right? And it's one of those really big connectors, because let's face it, guys, we live in a weird world. Like everyone sees everything on social media, but we really don't know what's going on. Okay? So this is the letter of the heart. So an authentic intro, get real fast. Now, the trick with getting real is you do not talk about drama. Okay? You can talk about your problem and your solutions and how it benefits people. Otherwise, you don't talk about it, okay? Like I've had somebody who's been like, oh, I want to talk about my struggles with being bipolar. And I was like, you know what? Mental health is a real issue, you know, and I respect that, but sometimes we over-disclose, okay? Do people need to know that you have bipolar disorder? No. Do they need to know, you know, maybe that you've been struggling? Sure, that's an authentic piece, right? What have you done to help yourself, and how does this matter to them? We ended up deciding that there wasn't any value for her clients, okay, and we switched course, okay? So just know, if there isn't a value to the clients, don't talk about it. If it's too much back and forth, don't talk about it, okay? We're talking about relatable, sharing pain, overcoming, and why it matters to them, ultimately, okay? Then you do want some kind of call to action. I always have a good call to action. And mine's pretty passive in this, but it's just basically like, you know, if you feel like it, if you're a believer in karma, this should be your big payday. Thank you for sharing, you know, our information about the Lizy Hoeffer team with your friends and family. Right? Like I'm basically telling them what to do. Okay. Right. So you'll see all of this. One of the best things that I do on the WOW program. Okay. Now the other thing that I do really well is on Facebook. Facebook, you can create lists of people, and so just so you guys know, if you Google how to create lists, friends lists on Facebook, it will walk you through the instructions. But the reason that I do that is I like to track life events for important people in my life, right? So my top referral partners, my best clients, you know, I'm really trying to pay attention to people that are important to me. And so when they have a kid that graduates, I want to care and know about it. When they have a birthday, I want to be giving them a call. If they have a major life event, I want to be there for them because, again, like I said, you have to be an advisor, an expert that cares. And people who care pay attention. So I've had some people be like, oh my God, that's stalking. And it's like, well, stalkers think you're very important. And in business, guys, like we have to care about the people who are important to us. So yes, it is a little bit of stalking, but also do not pay attention to people that matter to you. Okay? We just also have to know boundaries. We're not going to people's homes. All right. So these are all the life events that I track. I have a gift for everything. So like birthdays, we give a blanket. Deaths, it depends on the charity, or like we'll send flowers. Graduations, we'll send a picture with them. Engagements, I send a wedding planner. Weddings, we send their last name on a plate. Divorces, we send lots of, you know, chocolate, cuddles, like anything we can. And then moving, we have the moving tape, we have champagne and pizza, right? And then job changes, again, just confetti in a card says congratulations. Like this stuff doesn't have to be super expensive, it just is fun. Okay, and again, it shows people that you care. I can't tell you how many people have literally told me, like, or when they refer me, that's how they describe me. Like they'll just be like, oh my God, no one cares like Lizy, and she'll send you cupcakes on your birthday. It has nothing to do with rates, it has nothing to do with fees, it has nothing to do with mortgages. It's like, oh my God, you gotta use my gap, right? And in turn, like, I mean, not to brag, but like I get a shit ton of birthday presents. Because people feel, no, seriously, they feel the love, right? You only feel obligated when you're in a relationship with someone who's also important to you.
But that you're paying attention to them, so they have to pay attention.
Yeah, and they pay attention back, right? Like, and so that's how you know your WOW program's working, is because people also care about your life events. Okay? Now, other great ways for you guys to show people that you care: offer to host a housewarming party, a client appreciation event's always really great. Charity events are always really good. I like to mix the two, a charity and a client appreciation one, because it's technically a RESPA violation if I invite you all to dinner, right? But if we do it for charity and education, it's cool. Okay, so just be aware of that. Now, a usual client appreciation event, guys, does not have to cost a ton of money. People always go crazy with this type of thing. You can do 2 drink tickets a person, guys, and you can keep your happy hours to like $100 at most. Okay? Like a typical happy hour shouldn't be more than $300. If it's more than that, you're doing something way wrong. Okay? A client event shouldn't cost you more than $1,000. If you are spending more than $1,000, you are doing it wrong. Okay? Now, people do not pay attention to all the little details. They do not, right? They pay attention to things that are, again, like fun and different, right? So like, you know, you can do cute face painting and pictures with your family. Great, that's an easy way to make your event memorable. Again, photographers, like $200, the face painter's probably $100, right? And if you got pizzas, right, then you keep it down. Like, and you can do it in a park, right, where there's free entertainment. Like, you just have to be creative and then figure out what's gonna be shareable and fun. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, cool. Now, gifts. Another way that people spend too much money. Okay, just so that you know, every single place that you should have a consistent program, because every single place that you order from will give you a discount. Every single one. I buy a ton of Sprinkles cupcakes. You better believe I do not pay full price. I don't. I like negotiate that thing every year. Lower and lower and lower. Okay? It's super important that you be consistent so that you can get discounts so that way you can scale these programs. I had one agent one time spend like so much money and I'm like, first of all, they don't appreciate this $80 bottle of wine. They don't even drink $80 bottle. Like that, and it doesn't go anywhere, and they didn't post it, and I'm sure like they thought it was nice, but it didn't go anywhere, right? It didn't do the thing that you wanted, right? Cupcakes cost me $15, right? And I promise you, it is shared all over and over and over again. People do it every year, right? Because Sprinkles cupcakes are fun, and people think they're the best, right? So what can you do that's fun that people think is the best? Okay. The other thing is that like you can buy things in bulk also, which help make things a lot cheaper. Or you can do things that are just simple, like there's the Wubbanubs pacifiers. They're $12. Okay. Like you could do that. You could do there's $7.99 Aiden and Nay's swaddles. You could do that. Like this stuff doesn't have to be out of control expensive. All of my pop buys, just so you guys know, $2.50 is the most I spend on them, unless it's for Mother's Day or Father's Day, and we go up to $4.
Woo!
Okay, because we buy in bulk and because we negotiate.
Okay, so maybe not you, because you probably, well, no, I'll ask you, but also if you're us and a lot smaller scale, when you do pop bets, like talking to another agent I work with, I feel like she actually goes and drops it at their house.
You should.
Okay, good. Because you said don't go to people's homes, and I was like, what about
No, I meant about stalking. I meant about stalking. Like, if you know you shouldn't be going to their home, don't. Like, if there's a restraining order, don't.
Yeah, it's like to do a quick knock.
No, of course. And here's how you do it. Hey, I have showings in the neighborhood. I wanted to drop by a little something special for you on the weekend. Will you be there at Sunday at 10?
Perfect.
Great. It's Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
Okay, Dunkin' Donuts like $5. Like seriously, just keep it simple. Go in, give them a hug, and always thank every single person you talk to for being your best referral partner. Like this is how I started in the business. It's like, oh my God, thank you so much for supporting me, for supporting my business. To people who never had sent me a referral, I'm just constantly telling you, you're going to send me a referral. And I'm so grateful for the future referral. It's manifestation. Okay. Other thing is, don't forget the power of a personal note. So when I started this, I was broke. I had $10 a week to eat off of, which meant I was eating Hormel chili and ramen noodles. It's okay. I survived. I'm no longer eating that. But the thing is, I spent $50 a month on marketing. So when you think about that my marketing budget was the same as my freaking food budget, you know how important marketing is. Okay? So at the time, I would make these personal handmade note cards for people. So I would have a meeting with you and you'd tell me all about your golf and how much you loved golf. And I'd make you this personalized card all about golf, telling you how important it was, 3 different things that you'd said in that meeting, and how impactful it was and how I was going to help you with that. And every card would be handmade by Lizy. And that's how I grew my business. And I remember somebody at one point saying, God, these are so great, and one day you're going to be so busy you won't be able to make these. And I thought, yeah, right, this is my money maker. Yeah. And the thing is, it grows and it improves over time, but I still remember I started with handmade cards. Just paying attention, listening to what people said, and writing really great words about them. Okay, so if you are just starting out and that's your budget, okay, you can start out with a personal note. It goes a long way. Okay, another really cheap birthday program is a scratcher ticket or a $2 bill. Everyone thinks they're fun and special. Okay? All right. Now, I'm going to give you a bunch of books that have really helped me understand what good customer service is and have let me elevate my WOW program. Okay? So the first one is 7 Levels of Communication. So this one is a lot on how to talk to people, right? What to say, how to provide value, how to follow up. It has a really good, simple WOW strategy. He said he didn't get it from Brian Buffini. They're very similar programs. So I would look at Brian Buffini. I also would read this book. It's great. It's like 100-page. The Go-Giver, again, guys, is all about giving before you receive. The more you give, the more you get. Do you believe that? Mm-hmm. I'm a huge believer in that. All right, Raving Fans, another really great one, guys. This is all about the 1Ups. One of my favorite parts of this book is actually they talk about a grocery store. And it's interesting because I live in between an AJ's and a Safeway. Safeway is clearly cheaper, but I really like the experience of shopping at AJ's. Right? Like if I can go to AJ's for something, I like justify the whole grocery order. Right? But if I can't, I'm like Safeway, I'm like, oh, this is AJ's. Okay? But it's all about the additional things. It's like what happens when you step out of the car? What happens, like how is the store laid out? What's the lighting? What's the ambiance? How do people greet you? How do you pay? Right? Like all of the little details, they just make it so much better. And they talk about what that looks like. I love this book. Mr. Schmooze. Okay, so circle this one. This is my favorite business book of all time. Like of all time. Another 100-pager. This book actually talks about how you network and how you, again, provide that world-class experience so that people think that you are the guy. Like you are the woman. No one else, right? You provide so much value, so much connection, so much networking, right? That no one else like can interfere. Like, you know, I mean, it's not like we've never lost a referral partner, but typically when people talk about me, they're like, oh, we work with Lizy. No, I'm in a personal relationship with her. Like, we're personal friends, right? And that's a very different type of relationship to be in than, oh yeah, I remember my realtor. I think her name was Lizy. Right? Like, that happens. Just so you guys know, after 3 years, people forget your name. And that's sad. Like, I can still remember my kindergarten teacher's name. I'm like, how could you forget your real estate? It's like very stressful.
You just closed on Tuesday, right?
And then the last one, guys, is the Nordstrom way. I love Nordstrom's. Nordstrom's like built their entire business on going out of their way for clients. And you know what's funny is that a couple years ago, I ended up at a resort in like Lake Austin, which is like Lake Travis. It's kind of like 40 minutes out of Austin. And I forgot my sneakers, and I'm at like a health retreat. So we're gonna go hiking every day. So I'm like, well, shit, how am I gonna hike every day? My flip-flops. So we called Nordstrom's, no joke. I paid for them. They had someone drive all the way to our hotel and drop that off. I know people thought I was related to the president. They were like, oh, she got Nordstrom to deliver to her? I was like, oh my God, I just called. Like, it really wasn't that big of a deal. They're so wonderful. That's the kind of stuff. And you know what, guys? I will never shop anywhere else. Like, I hope I never need them to come drive me anywhere, but it's cool that they did. Right? And now I've told all of you that story. And now if you ever find yourself in a hotel without your sneakers, where are you going to call?
That's so wonderful.
Right? Yeah. And again, let me tell you about that story too. I also shared that on social media. Right? I talked about it in a letter of the heart because it meant so much to me. And I'm like, this is the kind of service I want to provide. Right? So, valuable, shareable, guys, consistent. That is their brand. Okay? All right. So, let's open this up for Q&A because I've given you a lot of hypotheticals, theoretical stuff, right? What's your first step in designing a WOW program?
Database.
Okay, so database, I would say, yep. What's your next step?
What your process is when you actually lead.
Okay, so we're going to start with database. How many people in your database?
300.
And who do they have to be?
People that like us, that have influence, and that will work for us.
Yep, okay. So you mean 300 people. Then what do you got to do? She said it. She said, look at your processes. Okay?
Yes, sorry.
I was writing. No, you're perfect. So processes, okay? What processes? So we saw lead. What other one? Follow-ups? Or you're going to follow up?
Right, but then
Okay. What other ones?
referrals.
Okay, what other ones? Closings. Okay, what other ones?
Facebook Life events. Or, oh, is that one? Sorry, I'm spelling that out.
That's okay.
Getting through the inspection period.
So I'm going to put in contract.
Anniversaries is like
Yep.
1 year.
Okay, now, if you go through your business once a week, what I want you to do is on your calendars, I want you guys to go, is this a process, right, that needs to be looked at, right? So I can tell you number one is your leads. You gotta do that. Number one is your leads. Okay, number two, guys, is in contract. Okay, then number three is closings, and 8 is gonna be post-closing. Okay, and your post-closing is probably gonna include your anniversaries, your life events, your birthday lists, okay? Now, follow-up, guys, is part of your leads, okay? It's also part of your post-closing, okay? It could also be part of your closings and in contracts, right? Anniversary calls are part of follow-up, okay? So this is number 2. So we gotta go. Database processes. Okay. Next thing, guys, is systems to execute. Okay. So what systems do you need to execute this with?
CRM.
Yep. Okay. All right. So CRM. Okay. What else?
Mailchimp or HomeBot or Real Geeks.
Okay.
So a mailing platform.
Okay. And guys, I'm gonna say this is probably not systems, but this is more tools. Okay.
Okay.
But this is helpful because this is gonna be my next one anyway. So Mailchimp, email. Okay, we have video. Okay, you need vendors for gifts, right? Okay, let's go back to systems really quick. What's a system that you could create to implement this? And a system is, like on Monday mornings, I call 10 people. Okay, on every Tuesday of the month, like the 36 touch that you saw, that's a system, right? You saw the frequency, right? It's on a calendar.
That time blocking.
Time block, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can put time blocking as a system, okay? I'm gonna put scheduling.
Time blocking, scheduling, having a calendar?
Yep, that's it. I'm gonna put quarterly reviews. That's gonna help you out.
Thanks.
No, not. So like whenever I'm trying to execute something new, I go, what has to happen here? So on a weekly basis, we have to have a call with Sprinkles Cupcakes. We give them all this information. We also coordinate with our courier. Okay, that is a system that has to be in place. It's once a week. It has to be done. On Mondays, I have a marketing meeting to go over all the classes, all the WOW program, all everything, right, to make sure that it's being executed, right? I have to, on Sunday nights, prepare my email, right, for Monday morning, right? If I don't, which I didn't this week, it goes out on Wednesday, because it takes me that long, right, when I'm busy and distracted, okay? So, like, when you go through these processes, the next thing I need you to do is go, what systems do I have to set in place to make sure that this gets done? Can I do this, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay,
Get inventory.
right? And then once you have the systems down, what tools and resources do I need to execute this and get this done? Now, if you're a top performer or somebody who runs a team, this is when you say, I need a WOW coordinator that can help me facilitate all of this stuff. Okay, so that's what you need, right? So, any questions on this stuff? Now, just to kind of tie this all home, right, because I'll get you guys out a little bit early. A WOW program, guys, is more important than almost anything that you guys do, right? Outside of prospecting. You can always prospect your way into business, right? More leads solves all problems. But the problem with that is that it's like a never-ending cycle of prospecting. And if, let's say, you get sick, let's say you want to go on vacation, let's say something really terrible happens in your life, your business will halt because you haven't prospected. Now, marketing, wow programs, customer service, they take a while to launch. It's like an airplane, 120% of effort before you can glide. Okay, it's a long time. Like, it took me 6 months of solid birthday, stuff and solid marketing on social media, solid for me to get any kind of traction. I can tell you that today, like with where my business is at, because I provided that newsletter and because I provide all the social media stuff, guys, I close 200 deals a year just off that newsletter, right? From people, random people sending me 1 or 2 deals a year. Okay, that is the power of consistency over a decade. Okay, and the thing is that writing that email, right, it takes me about 2 solid hours, right? So I've got to research it, I've got to put packs in it, I've got to make sure I cite my sources, all that stuff. But that 2 hours for 10 years, a lot of hours. But now it's on autopilot, okay? The same way that it also builds a ton of goodwill. I would be lying if I said the human beings on my team don't screw up, okay? I would be lying, they do. But one of my processes for my WOW service, guys, is called an I'm sorry campaign, right? Because I know we will mess up, and the only thing that people really want in a mess up is one, they want you to own it, they want you to fix it, and they want to make sure it doesn't happen again, okay? And it doesn't hurt to throw in a gift, okay? Like, this is the plan, and you know what we do? We follow up with them 30 days after the event, 60 days after the event, 6 months after the event, a year after the event, and they get birthday cupcakes from me, right? At a minimum, I'm hoping to neutralize that, okay? At my best hope is that they become a raving fan, because anyone who is a raving is also has the potential to be a raving fan, okay? Like, you have no idea if you just put solid effort towards making things better, what will happen, okay? Again, it's a system that happened because we care. Now, WOW will build great reputation, will build tons of goodwill with your clients, and will help you market when you cannot prospect, okay? So I promise you, this is probably one of the biggest keys to my success. I think the first one is just like straight persistence and hustle, but this is right up there with it. And honestly, like, I would not be near the loan officer that I am today without paying attention to this, right? It sets the culture for your teams, it sets the culture for your business. I cannot sell it enough, okay? So, before I wrap this up, are there any questions? Okay. Raise your hand if you got a nugget from today's class that will help you in business. Okay. Well, if you did, guys, guess what? I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm a loan officer. And I would love your business and your next referral. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Well, I know about the cupcakes.
Yeah, we'll get cupcakes. See this? Yeah,
There we go.
we're working in real time.
Weird to have this whole class with 11 colors on the table.